Season 1 of X-Men 97 hints at new X-teams for Season 2, setting the stage for potential character introductions. Executive producer Brad Winderbaum teases 2 additional X-teams in Season 2, expanding the show's universe.
It's getting bigger!
The executive producer for X-Men 97 has spoken out about Season 2 featuring more X-teams, but I think Season 1 has already dropped some hints about who they could be. The hit animated series from the MCU has revived a classic animated cartoon from the 1990s, and the reception has been spectacular. While the show picked up immediately following the ending of X-Men the Animated Series, it's also accomplished a huge amount in just 10 episodes that could pave the way for the future of the series. Brad Winderbaum, the man behind streaming, television and animation for Marvel Studios and an executive producer for X-Men 97, has dropped some clues as to what to expect when Season 2 is released. Considering the explosive ending of Season 1, there are lots of directions for the show to go in, but for eagle-eyed fans who have been paying attention, there are a few clues along the way as to who will be joining the team in Season 2. When questioned about Season 2, Winderbaum had this to say: "There's many teams in Marvel that have the letter X that are followed by a hyphen. I would put it to you like this: there's 2 other X teams in Season 2.
What? No.
After the Season 1 finale of X-Men 97, the team is spread out across the far-flung reaches of time. Most of the team was sent back in time to ancient Egypt 5,000 years earlier, while Cyclops and Jean are now in the distant future. And on top of this, the present is about to undergo some extreme political turmoil in the aftermath of the attacks that almost wiped out humanity, and the daring sacrifice of the X-Men to protect humankind. But with all the divisions and separation, it also paves the way for some brand new X-teams to step up and take charge. While it may appear bleak for the mutants, the show has actually left things in each timeline with a fairly strong cohort of mutants who could form a team. Firstly, in the present, it's key to establish an organised mutant force, as anti-mutant sentiment is at an all-time high, and the original X-Men team have disappeared, presumed dead, in the explosion. Fortunately, the mutants left behind could be the perfect group to form the X-Force within the show, and ensure that mutant voices are heard despite the challenges and recent devastation. As Winderbaum clearly stated, 2 more X-teams will be entering the fray for Season 2. The most likely instance of this is establishing an X-team in each timeline, the past, present and future. While it's a possibility that all of these groups will simply call themselves X-Men, considering they won't be overlapping anytime soon, the X-Men is not the only X-team featured in the stories. Groups like X-Force, Generation X, X-Factor, and half a dozen more all form groups of mutants. But the Season 1 finale does make the formation of a new team a top priority for Season 2.
Working is it's not my top priority.
In the present, there are mutants left who worked with X-Men and they could step up to create a team of their own. Meanwhile, in the past and present, both groups already have portions of a team who will likely seek out other mutants to join their efforts and fight alongside them. With an X-team in all 3 timelines, the mutants will be able to do their best to correct the timelines and ensure they all have a way back home. But this won't be an easy task, especially for the group in the present with no original X-Men left. However, there is one ray of hope for the present-day team. The X-Force is one of the most distinct teams from the X-Men due to the major difference in their missions. While the X-Men follow Charles Xavier's dream of creating a better world where humans and mutants can live together in peace and harmony, the X-Force takes a more, shall we say, militant approach. As showcased by their name, the X-Force work as a military unit with precision and tactical skills. And in order to do this with maximum efficiency, they need a strong leader. Fortunately, in the present, Cable remains one of the few mutants not sent to a distant timeline. However, the time-traveling mutant would normally have left the mess in the present behind and jumped forward in time to his own life. Bastion ensured that this simply wouldn't be possible thanks to his draining energy and eventual explosion. Cable's arm and his time-traveling device were both destroyed along with Bastion, which means that he is stuck in the present. With Cable in the present and his military background, he could be an incredible asset to fight on the side of the mutants and form his own team, the X-Force.
Will be known as X-Force.
The next most likely team to show up in the series is X-Factor. The X-Factor was initially formed from the members of the original X-Men team. With the original X-Men in the past and future, either of those smaller groups could form an X-Factor team, though it feels more likely for Cyclops and Jean Grey to set up in the far-flung future. On the other hand, there is also room to make teams like Generation X, with a focus on younger mutants like Jubilee and Sunspot, who played prominent roles throughout Season 1. Beyond this, there are plenty of other X teams, but none seem quite as likely to be formed by the familiar characters seen in Season 1. Regardless of who the teams will consist of and what the name will be, I believe that the show has put the effort into putting these individuals into natural groups in order to help them resolve their differences and return to the present with answers and a means to invoke peace. But until X-Men 97 Season 2 drops, we won't know for certain who the new teams will consist of.
Tell us now!